Now, now the recording is in the progress, and we will go to the chapter. Yeah, here you see the title of the chapter, "The Model Millionaire." Quite is impressive one. I would say model stands for something which can be copied, which can be which will put an impression on the large number of people. Uh, and then model millionaire as a combination of words stands for like something related to a person who became millionaire or became rich, you know. And it's not Oscar Wilde, it's Oscar Wilde. Okay, so the person who has written the chapter is Oscar Wilde, and it is from one of the short story that he had written. It was actually a book. Okay, who was Oscar Wilde? First of all, understand that one. So date of birth, you can just copy paste that same thing. Oscar Wilde was an Irish playwright. Playwright stands for dramatist. He was a dramatist. He used to write dramas, and he was a novelist. He used to write novels. He was a poet. He used to write poems. He is also known for his works. Like he was also known for his works, short story. Like he used to write short stories. Short stories used to be compiled in number of like there used to be in number of short stories in one book. Okay. So keep in mind, like short story is not like a whole book. It's like compilation of number of stories together, and then few of the chapters are taken into consideration, and then they feel that that these are suitable for putting into your syllabus. That's why they take one or the two stories from different authors. So known for his barbed and clever wit, like the way he used to, answer the questions of the society by his presence of mind, and the way he answers the questions very beautifully in artistic way. So he was one of the most successful playwright of the late Victorian London. So Victorian London, that means Victorian is a period. Victorian is a period of one of the period of the English literature. During that period, how the London was, and he was one of the famous one, like one of the most famous personality, you can say, one of the greatest celebrities of his day. Celebrities, obviously, renowned person. He was quite famous. Written in an era when the gap, I will just zoom it in so that our lights would be on that only. Our limelight would be on that. Written in an era when the gap between the privileged and the deprived was vast. Vast means very large. Here they want to say that this chapter was written when there was a gap between two classes, rich and poor. Privileged, privileged means these are the rich people who were given lots of rights. They were called very princely, and they were given rights to actually enjoy the laurels of life. Deprived are those who were not given their rights and who were poor people, who were actually were seen with a kind of disgust or something. Um, then this short story tells us how a poor yet kind young man gets the recognition he deserved. So that's all about the whole thing. The model millionaire is all about. So this young man is this model millionaire. I think I haven't read the chapter yet, but still I would tell you that it would be about this man, this young man who gets a recognition. A recognition means who gets a fame or get to know by the people, like because he deserved it. Deserved means he did lots of hard work, and there would have been lots of problems in his way, but he managed to come across or sorry, cross all those hurdles, and he came across lots of problems, and he crossed all those problems. Now let's move to the chapter. I think the chapter starts from here. Anyone who can tell me? I think unless is a word the chapter starts from. So like what does unless stands for? Unless means if not. Remember that. Okay, I have told many times, but still, I want to just make you recall that one so that you may make the meaning accordingly. That unless one is wealthy, there is no one in being a charming fellow. There is no use. Sorry, unless one is wealthy, there is no use in being a charming fellow. So here the statement starts with, or the chapter starts with, like, if you are not wealthy, if you are not rich, there is no use in being a charming fellow. If you are so handsome, it doesn't matter to the people. You need to be wealthy first. Then you people will see like whether you are handsome or you have charming appearance or something. So they won't see that thing first. They will see your wealth. They will see the money. Okay. So romance is the privilege of the rich. So what does it stand for? I would like to know because you guys have read the chapter, and I would like to add to my knowledge if you have the same meaning that I have in my mind. So Mehak, can you please elaborate this statement? Romance is romance is the privilege of the rich.
Sir, maybe the only rich one can live in a romance peaceful life.
Hmm. No, romance here means like something which is filled with excitement. Okay, filled with excitement, um, filled with thrill and joy. That means joy was a part of the life of the rich people only. Joy was not the part of the life of the poor people. That means And even if we talk about love stories, and even the love was a part of the rich people, the poor people were not, you know, thought of as to fall in love with something. Or even if we are talking about they need not to be enthusiastic about something which is adventurous. Okay, not the profession of the unemployed. So the people who are unemployed, the people do not have the job or occupation, they should not fall in love, or they should not do something they are not doing interesting, or that is not the work of uninteresting people or unemployed people who are occupied with no work. So those people were very dull one in that era, like when the chapter starts. The poor should be practical. Poor should be practical here stands for the poor should be pragmatic, and they should think in reality. They should not be imaginative. The poor should be practical and prosaic. Prosaic. Okay. The poor should be practical and prosaic. Prosaic stands for, I think, in the word meaning, if you have seen that video, I think prosaic, I have explained what is the meaning that I told in that video. Can anybody tell me? I would like to know from you. If you really have seen my video, the previous one, I think you will be able to tell me that what is prosaic. I mentioned something related to imaginary or something. If not, let me tell you again that is all about being imaginary, should be practical, and should not be imaginary. That means somebody should be thinking in the practical, or should be straightforward. Prosaic, actually, when I said that, or what I had the meaning in my mind was to be straightforward. Poor should be straightforward. They should not have any fanciful thing in their mind. They should not be that imaginative, accordingly, that they should be straightforward. It means to say, in simple words, the poor should be straightforward. Rich can manipulate, or rich can actually change your statements or something, or they can be imaginative. It is better to have a permanent income than to be fascinating. That means here it means to say that it is better to have money. It is better to have like money for permanent time than to be fascinating, like always to be just fascinating about or dreaming about actually large amount of money. But instead of that one, if you're just simply having the permanent income, that would be much better. Accordingly, one thought of ideas. Okay, one school of ideas. That is the thing. There are the great truths of modern life. Can you please tell me that where I am, all of you? I'm here. Okay, there are the great truths of modern life. I hope that pointer is being shown also. Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay. There are the great. Sorry. Okay. These are the great roots of modern life. That in the modern life, you can simply see that having the money is very important. Until or unless we know the reality of the life, that if you don't have the money, you can't actually live properly. Then we can't understand. If you don't have the money, obviously you can't avail all the comforts of life. Here comes the main thing that I wanted to tell you, which we Erskine, yeah, we Erskine never realized. Here we say, like, I don't know, like, what pronunciation you know about it. I believe that it is Hui Erskine. Hui Erskine never realized. It's not Huggy Erskine. It's Hui Erskine. So never realized. So he did not realize that things which were great to be known to the people, that you should be rich, was not known to Erskine. So he was wonderfully good looking. Who was wonderfully good looking? That's Erskine we are talking about, the main character. He was wonderfully good looking. He had all the charming appearances that what a handsome person should have, and his crisp brown hair. He had the crisp brown hair, or we can say that kind of golden hair, or something like that. His clear cut profile, and his that means his gait was quite clear, and his gray eyes. He had the gray eyes. Now, what we do is we are trying to imagine what kind of person he is, and what kind of appearance he had. He was a popular man. He was popular with men as he was with the women. That means he was so famous that he was so known to the people that women and men both were dealing with him. Both were actually were happy in his company, and he had every accomplishment except that of making money. He had everything. He had like everything accomplished, completed in his life, but he did not had the money. Who did not have the money? Erskine, we are talking about Erskine. Okay, Basant, can you please switch on your mic?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Basant. Mm, I would like to know from you first of all. You guys, all of you are in ninth standard. Which section are you from?
Sir, I am from Diamond section.
You're from diamond section. Okay, diamond. Okay, that means still that is occurring like emerald, diamond, and all. Okay, so you can let others also know if they really want to understand the chapter, like any other chapter, next chapter, or whatever we are going to study further. You can actually share this with them, that like the person is teaching and ma'am is taking the tuition and all that stuff, and then they can actually go to ma'am also. and they can actually join my classes as well. Okay, so I'm giving
Yes,
these
sir.
classes
Okay.
as complimentary classes to those students just because I want to enjoy with my students, and even I would like to be in touch with all of them. I'm very straightforward in saying that, so that I just want to be with the students, so that's why I'm doing it. So you can just let others also know so they can join the classes with ma'am, and obviously you can have these classes. Anyways, coming back to the topic. mm, he had every accomplishment except that of making money. Okay, Basant, which person are we talking about in this line?
Sir, Erskine.
Yeah, Erskine. We're talking about Erskine. Nice. Then his father bequeathed him his cavalry sword. Bequest, I told you like something in that video. I'm telling you guys, you don't watch video. That's your loss, because in that one I tell lots of words which actually were related. I think in the previous video, all those words from this chapter were explained. So if I'll ask you what is the meaning of bequest, you will start searching on Google. Instead of searching on Google, why not to actually fix yourself with the video, and then you will be ready for all the difficult words. Now, his father bequeathed to him. Bequest means something which is given by the will, or it is kind of documented earlier and was given from his father. Was bestowed through the will. We say that bestowed through the will or given through the will. We say that will can be a document, written document also. Will can be your desire also, through the desire only. Like there may be the father's desire to give something to the kid, so that is why his father gave him a cavalry sword. Cavalry also, I told you that people who go on the horses and they have a group of persons, army of the horse riders or something. So cavalry sword, he had a sword with him and he gave it to Erskine, sorry. And a history of the Peninsular War in 15 volume. He also gave him a book, I think, in 15 volumes, and he lived on 200 a year, that an old aunt allowed him. So he lived on 200 a year that an old aunt allowed him, and he had tried everything. He had tried everything. Then he had gone to stock exchange for 6 months, like lots of things he did in his life. He had gone to stock exchange. Stock exchange is a place where I think we try to buy shares and sell shares. He had been a tea merchant for a little longer. That means for some time he did the work as a tea merchant, like business was in the tea only, selling the tea, buying the tea, and all that. And then he had tried selling dry sherry. And sherry, I told you, the kind of wine which was drunk usually during the meal times, before the meals. So in England, so people like he used to sell dry sherry, and ultimately, finally, he became nothing. He became nothing out of doing all that work, hard work, going from one work to the other, and so what does it mean? He lived on 200 a year. What does it stand for? Can anybody tell me? 200 a year. 200 a year itself stands for, like, he must be getting some amount of money a year, like a large amount of, it won't be large amount, it would be only 200 a year that old aunt allowed him. So somebody gave him the money, like who was his aunt. That was the amount of money he had, used and utilized. Out of all these things, he became nothing. He did not reach to any conclusion that he would have attained a very happy, wealthy life. He could not get it. A delightful means cheerful. An ineffectual young man, ineffectual, that means incompetent young man with a perfect profile and no profession. He had a perfect profile. He had a series of job occupations, and he did a lot of hard work, but he did not have any profession. He was mostly like me, actually. Let me tell you, being a private teacher, nobody recognizes you as employed. Let me tell you, even if you are earning a lot of money, they still do not say that you are earning a lot. They still, like, in government profile, we are still unemployed. So he was with no profession. A little bit similar, but somehow, life is life. Now, to make matters worse and to make them more, we say that, like, in normal language, we say good, or sorry, bad. Second degree is worse, and third is worst. That means when we compare something to someone, like, we use words. Here they have used the word words. To make matters worse, he was in love. Now, after doing all that thing, after knowing that he was trying his luck in everything, another thing which was considered bad at the time was he was in love. And people who are in love, they used to be desperately, running after things, to make people happy, to make the girl happy, and all that. The girl he loved was Laura Merton. Okay, I will just consider only Merton to be the name, if that would occur again. Okay, Merton, the daughter of a retired colonel, or in our language we say colonel, and all that. So she was the daughter of Merton was the daughter of colonel. Two of them could easily make handsomest couple in London. So Merton adored him. Merton also, or the Laura Merton, adored him or loved him. The colonel was very fond of Hui. But would not hear of any. engagement. So he did not hear of any engagement, would not hear of any, that he did not want him to actually be his daughter's husband, uh, because he kept one particular demand for that. Come to me, my boy, when you have got 10,000 pounds of your own. The 10,000 pounds, okay? Sorry, I can hear you. Like, what happened? Any problem? Okay, please do not disturb again. If you have anything to say, please switch on your mic and say it out so that I can understand what your query is. So please do not do that. I, it's okay. Come to me, my boy, when you have got 10,000 pounds of your own. Until unless you do not have those 10,000 pounds, do not show me your face. And we will see about it. We will see that whether you can marry Laura Martin or not. He used to say. We looked very glum, very dull, very sad on those days and had to go to Laura for consolation. Consolation, I told you in the video, consolation stands for consoling someone, or what we say, to comforting. For the sake of comforting, he used to go to his, girlfriend, or what we say that. One morning, as he was on his way to Holland Park, he was going to a certain destination, that is Holland Park. He went to that place one day where the Mertons lived. Merton, that means the family of his girlfriend lived. He dropped in to see a great friend of his, Alan Trevor. So he met his friend Alan Trevor over there when he was on the way to go to that, like go to his girlfriend's house, or girlfriend's house. So he met Alan Trevor. Alan Trevor was a painter. Alan Trevor was a painter, and he was a strange, rough fellow. He was a rough fellow also. That means a very odd kind of person, and a rough fellow as well, with a freckled face. I said something in the video about freckled face. Can you please tell me? Mehak, you may answer, please, if you have seen the video.
Sorry, sir.
Okay. So kindly watch that video so that you may remember those words. Those are tough words, and those tough words I have explained in very simple language. With a freckled face, freckle means having dots on the face. Dots, brown dot, pale brown dots on the face. Used to have people from the foreign country, and the people who become old, they used to get like that kind of dots on the face, and some people have such kind of dots. And he also had a beard, and red ragged beard, ragged beard, ragged we say the pronunciation in ragged we say. Okay, red ragged beard, and beard kind of very dusky kind of color, red color. So however, when he took up the brush, he was a real master. Like, when it was considered that whenever he used to pick up the brush in his hand, because he was a painter, he was a real master, and his pictures were eagerly. We are trying to explain the, we are describing the character of Alan Trevor. Okay, so remember that one, what he has as far as his appearance is concerned, and how he was considered the real master. His pictures were eagerly means keenly sought for. Keenly sought for means people love to watch his pictures then, like whatever he used to create as a painter. He had been very much attracted by who he at first, on the account of his personal charm. So he was like one of them, like who met Hui Erskine, and he became the fan of Erskine. However, obviously he was a painter. He wanted to, obviously he would meet the people with that kind of attitude, that handsome people or charming person, to the person with the charm. So, however, after he got to know Hui better, he liked him quite as much as of his bright, buoyant spirits. Buoyant spirit means lively spirits, okay, active spirits, or when here spirits doesn't stand for like evil spirits or something. Spirits here stands for the kind of attitude somebody has, the lively attitude he had, and his generous, reckless nature. Generous, reckless means careless nature. Who had the careless nature? Who had the careless nature? Erskine. Okay, Erskine had the careless nature. So, generous means like very kind, careless nature. So, and had given him the permanent entry to his studio. And that is why, just because of his like nature being that friendly, he had given him, like Alan Trevor had given him permanent entrance to his studio, to his friend. When he came, so there you can see the pronunciation of different words. Okay, prosaic, you can see that, deprived, and I also explained through a video about this whole thing here, how to say sure, then ch, and then different z and all that. There were lots of words that I actually, sorry, symbols I explained about. Ragged. Here you say ragged. A sound is created like that, and I am not going to focus on that. Sorry. So now you can watch that video. Then you see, then we were here. When Huey came into the studio, he found Trevor putting the finished touches to a wonderful life-size picture of the beggar man. So what Trevor was doing when his friend came inside, Trevor was putting the finished touches, like he was going to complete the wonderful size picture of a beggar man. Okay, the beggar himself was standing on the raised platform. Now, through the words, Oscar Wilde is actually explaining the picture that he was creating. Okay, now think of that one. A painter is trying to paint on the canvas and like on the page or whatever thing he uses. So he's actually trying to explain through that what he was creating, what the painter was creating, and you see that beggar man, the beggar himself was standing on the raised platform on the corner of the studio. Okay, so he was wizened old man. Wizened means like which was like through his like depiction only we can see that he was becoming age. He was showing up the age, like showing up the age. Watch the video, please. I have explained this word also. He was wizened old man. Okay, with the face life wrinkled parchment. Parchment is a piece of paper, wrinkled paper. Okay, that means his face was having like more of when we are going to like piece of paper when it's going to be molded, or we are going to just put it into a fist, and then kind of wrinkles that are getting created. So that's how the old person was. And the most piteous expression, a kind of when we are going to show the pity on person, obviously through his expressions only we can get to know that whether to have the sympathy or empathy kind of person with an empathy kind of thing for that person or not. So we try to think only when we see somebody's expression. So when somebody is very sad or gloomy, we feel that, oh, that's bad, something bad has happened with the person. So same thing was on the face of that old man. He was not that happy. Okay, and over his shoulders was falling a quartz black clock. Okay, and clock, that kind of cloth, piece of clothes. Okay, and brown cloth clock, all tears and tatters. Tatters means like something which was torn one into the pieces. All tears and tatters. His thick boots, that means his boots were torn one, were patched and cobbled and mended. There were some stitches on that. Okay, patched means there were some stitches, and cobbled also, like there was some kind of mending was done. And these words, like cobbled word, I think is there also in the word meanings. You can see that. Are you getting it, all of you? I'm repeating it so that I may get the confirmation that everything is clear.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What about others? I would like to know the.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, Basant and other, like I think there is one more person who has joined. So if you are clear about it, you can tell me. Otherwise, you can ask me what if there is any query, whatsoever else. May I go further?
Yes, sir.
Okay then. Now you see, with one hand he leaned on a rough stick. Leaned means leaning on something. No? Lean lean on. If you have heard the song also, so he was leaning on with one hand. He was on, like his head was on this one, and he was leaning on the stick. He was taking the kind of he was resting on the stick. Okay, rough stick. While with the other hand he held out his battered hat for alms. Alms means like kind of we say that asking for money and all that. So battered hat, that means which was turned into something, a torn hat or something. And that is, I think, battered also is there in the word meaning list. You can watch that previous video. Please watch that video carefully. Please, I request you, tell others also to watch that video so that at least they may get to know that what exactly those words mean. Okay. And whenever you try to learn one chapter, do not learn it just for the sake of syllabus. Learn it for the sake of what you are getting in the chapter, because English chapters can give you vocabulary. English chapter can give you different kinds of sentences which you can use in your life. And whenever you try to talk with each other in the class itself, try to make sure that you are using English language. Why so? At house or at home you can't speak English. At school you get the chance to speak more and more English, because that is going to be the common language that you're going to use in other countries where you will go and find your better future. Or even if you're staying in your country, there are also professional languages English, so you can modify yourself during those school days only. So that's why I'm trying to just guide you through that. I hope so you're understanding. Okay, otherwise that's your choice. What an amazing model. Now we're coming back to that. What an amazing model, whispered Hui. Hui said that in a slow tone. What an amazing model, as he shook hands with his friend when he met Trevor. He's an amazing model, shouted Trevor at the top of his voice. He was very like loud in that. I should think so. Such beggars, uh, sorry, such beggars, as he are not to be very day with every day, not to be with every day. People should not be with such kind of beggars with like every day. Poor old chap, said Hui. How miserable or miserable. Miserable means in bad condition. How miserable he looks. Okay. Uh, okay. Let me tell you one beautiful word so that you may remember that one. Miser. If you know anybody who knows the meaning of miser, miser in your language, the person who does not spend money on even the important things, and he tries to preserve the things. And even your mother tongue, we call him kanjus. That is known as miser. Okay, miserable or miserable, we say that the person who is in bad condition, the person who is not in good condition. He looks. Certainly, replied Trevor. Trevor said, "Yeah, exactly. And you don't want a beggar to look happy, do you?" So obviously, he said that if the beggar is a beggar, beggar obviously won't be a happy person. A beggar is begging just because he's not happy. So, how much does a model get for sitting? Asked Hui. So he said that, like, how much do you provide for a model to sit for a while, and do you give him the money? A shilling an hour. So that I used to give him shilling. Shilling is a currency, okay? So shilling an hour, 1 shilling an hour, I used to provide for those people who used to become my model. And how much do you get for your picture, Alan? So what is the return of that one? Oh, for this I get £2,000. So he said that I will get £2,000, you know, for 1 shilling. Like one person is going to sit for that, and the rest is his hard work, and he's going to make the picture, and then definitely that he's going to earn. Well, I think the model should have a share. Louis said that, laughing. They work quite as hard as you do. Like, because they have to sit for long hours, and definitely they should also be given some money. He meant to say. Are you guys understanding?
Yes, sir.
I hope so. Because here the conversation is happening between the two of the friends, Alan Trevor, and the other person, we Erskine. So Erskine is saying that I think he should give some money to those people also who used to sit for a long time, and I think they deserve more money, or like the kind of money he's providing is very less. In a laughing manner, he did not say that. He did not argue over that. He laughingly said that they were also nonsense. He got the answer, nonsense. Like, why? Look at the trouble of laying on the paint alone, and standing all day long at one is a okay. He said that my work is better than them. Then I used to do a lot of hard work. It's all very well for you to talk. He said that it is all very well that you are saying it. Like, I used to stand for a while and then paint alone, But I assure you that there are moments when art almost attains to the dignity of the manual labor. So art attains to the dignity of the manual labor, the person who does the manual labor, and art becomes more of that, more than that. And but you must not chatter. I am very busy. He said that, stop speaking. I'm making the picture. Let me make the picture. So I'm very busy. His friend replied to him. After some time, the servant came in and told Trevor that the frame maker wanted to speak to him. So there was a frame maker to meet. So he said his servant told him that there is a certain frame maker who came. You can meet him. He wanted to speak to you. Don't run away. He said to his friend, do not go anywhere. I'll be back. He said he went out. I'll be back in a moment. He said that I'll be back in some time. Then what was that? Just a minute. Let me check the length. Yeah, lengthy little bit. One more page, and then there we have. Okay. Now, as his friend went out, you know, as his friend went out, what happened was the old beggar man took advantage of Trevor's absence. Trevor went out, and the beggar who was there as a model, he went to rest for a moment on a wooden bench that was behind him. He looked so forlorn. Forlorn means lonely, okay, lonely and sad and gloomy and depressed, and wretched that he could not help pitying him. Erskine, like, he was having a kind of kind feeling for him, and felt in his pocket to see what money he had. He thought that I should give him something. That beggar, all he could find was a sovereign, or like gold coin, or sorry, copper coin, not the gold coin, and some coppers. There was, and princely sovereign is actually princely thing. So you will be able to see it when you're going to see the word meaning. Poor old fellow. Okay. And he thought to himself, he wants it more than I do. And he walked across the studio and slipped the sovereign into the beggar's hand. He gave it to him. The old man started, and faint smile flitted across his withered lips. Withered means, like, obviously that is also again there in the word meaning. Please check it out. Like, wretched kind of lips, or which were very having the wrinkles on them, and withered, or very dull kind of lips. When you're gonna see the word meanings, you will be able to understand that. And thank you, sir. He said, thank you. Okay. Now that then Trevor arrived, and he took his leave, blushing a little at what he had done. So he blushed a little what he had done, and like, you should not, like, he meant to say that you have given some money to him. He spent a day with his girlfriend, got a charming scolding. Charming scolding, that means very adorable scolding, or very scolding means a kind of chiding. Chiding means a kind of rebuking, and rebuking itself means a kind of why did you help him, or something. His extravagance. Extravagance means like giving more than required. So for his extravagance, or being to be very show off in such senses, and had to walk home, and he came back. That night he strolled into the Palette Club. Okay. So he strolled means like lazily he went to that pallet club about 11 o'clock and found Trevor sitting by himself. And then he found him sitting by himself. Trevor was sitting. Well, Alan, did you get the picture finished all right? Did you get the picture finished all right? Finished and framed, my boy, answered Trevor. Finished and framed, my boy. So he said that, well, Alan, did you get the picture finished all right? That have you finished that beggar's picture all right? Finished and framed. And it is not only finished, I have framed that, my boy, he said. And by, you have made, just a minute. You have made conquest. Conquest means like you have made the win or something, you have made the victory. The old model you saw is quite devoted to you, and I had to tell him all about you, what you are, where you live, and what your income is, and your what your prospects you have. So he said that I had to tell him a lot because you gave him something as a money. That is why he was asking me so many questions about you, who are you, where you live, and what is your income, and what your future plans are. So my dear Alan, cried Hui, I shall probably find him waiting for me when I go home. So I will see that, like as you have told him my place of living, and he will definitely meet me when I'm going to go back home. But of course you are only joking. Poor old wretch, I wish I could do something for him. He said that, like, he was so kind that he himself did not have that amount of money, but still he wanted to do something good for that old man. Are you guys all awake?
Yes, sir.
And what about boys?
Yes, sir.
Ah, it's on the verge of sleeping, so I believe that one. I think i think I think you think I think it is a dreadful. It is dreadful that anyone should be so miserable, like in the bad condition. I have got heaps means piles of old clothes, like large amount of old clothes at home. Do do you think he would care of any of them? You think he would care of any of them, like any of the old clothes that you're talking about? Why his rags were falling to bits, why his clothes are falling to small parts or small pieces. But he looks splendid in them. Splendid means very attractive or very princely in them, said Trevor. And I would not paint him in the frock coat for anything. Frock coat is a kind of coat that used to be worn, a long coat worn by the young men in old times. And however, in London, actually, particularly, they used to wear the long coat, and that is also there in the word meaning. Please check it out. However, I will tell him of your offer. I will tell him of your offer. And now tell me how Laura is. And he said that, like, how your girlfriend is, like, the old model was quite interested in her. The old model was quite interested in her. And then, like, just a minute. You don't mean to say you talked to him about her? Then Trevor said he Erskine said that you don't mean to say you talked to him about her. Did you talk to him about that? Certainly I did. He knows all about the relentless colonel, the lovely Laura, and the 10,000 pounds. So he said that I told him the story about the 10,000 pounds and all that. Then you told that old beggar all my private affairs, cried Hui, looking very red and angry. He was very angry because it was so personal thing that he should not have actually explained it to an old beggar, like, who got only one, like, a small amount of money from, like, Erskine. Then, my dear boy, said Trevor, smiling. He was smiling when he said that, my dear boy, that old beggar, as you call him, is one of the richest men in Europe. So he's the richest man in the Europe. He could buy all London tomorrow without overdrawing his account. Okay. So overdrawing his account, that means there would be something still in his account, even if he'll buy the whole London tomorrow. So, what on earth do you mean? Exclaimed he. So he said that, Erskine said that, like, what do you mean by that? What I say, said Trevor. The old man you saw today in the studio was Baron Horsburgh. He was Baron Horsburgh. He is a great friend of mine and buys all my pictures. Gave me a commission a month ago to paint him as a beggar. So he gave me commission to paint him as a beggar, and I must say that he made a magnificent figure in his rags. So, like, whatever picture that he painted, it was magnificent figure. And, or perhaps I should say, in my rags, they are an old suit I got in Spain. So they are an old suit that I got in Spain that he was wearing on that day, like when I took his picture. Baron Hosberg cried, "Hui, good heavens, I gave him a sovereign." He said that I have given him some money. And he sank into the armchair, the picture of dismay. He sank into the armchair, the picture of dismay. Dismay means hate. So gave him a sovereign, shouted, Sovereign, then shouted Trevor, and he burst into a roar of laughter, and he started laughing also. So, my dear boy, you will never see it again. You will never see it again. I think you might have told me, Ellen, said, uh, sulkily means in a very, what we, detesting way, and not have let me make such a good fool of myself. Do not make a fool of I won't make fool of myself. Well, to begin with, he said that. It never entered my mind that you went about distributing alms to, like, I never thought that you're going to give money to the reckless in a reckless way or in a careless way. Reckless is also explained in the word meanings. Please see that. Okay, you went about distributing alms. So he said that I never thought that you would do something like that. Besides the fact that that it's really I really was not at home today to anyone. And when you come in, I did not know whether Hertzberg would like this mentioned. He was not in full dress. So he was not in full dress, so that is why he did not mention it that who he was and all that. So he never actually revealed his like persona to us. Just a minute. He did not reveal his persona to us or to you. And what a duffer he must think me, said he. Like he must be thinking me an idiot. Like who would be thinking him to be an idiot? The old man, he considered him to be an old man. The Hosberg. Okay, not at all. He was in the highest spirits after you left. After you left, he was in the topmost happiness. He kept chuckling to himself. He was laughing within himself. Chuckling, that means a very quiet laughter, rubbing his old wrinkled hands together. I could not make out why he was so interested to know all about you. So he started asking about the questions related to whom has given the sovereign to him. But I see it all now. Now I can see it all. He will invest your sovereign for you. Don't worry, he said. We pay you with we pay you the interest every 6 months, and have a capital story to tell after dinner. Okay. So he has a capital story to tell after dinner. I'll let you know about that. He said, I'm unlucky devil, growled he. He said that I'm so unlucky that the best thing that I can do is to go to bed. And my dear Alan, you must not tell anyone that I have done is wrong. He walked home feeling very unhappy and leaving Alan Travers in fits of laughter. So he was laughing just because he got to know that what he has done. So, and now coming to the point, the next morning, are you guys awake? Let me know that.
Yes.
Very good. And what about others, boys? Yes, sir. See that? Boys are, I think, gone. I'm not hearing any boy's voice. Is there any boy awake?
Sir, Prasant is present.
Basant is present. And what about Jashan? Jashan is gone. Basant, are you there?
Yes.
Are you understanding better?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, fine. There would be some things which would come in your mind. You can actually see the whole video again once I will be uploading it, and I would actually increase the speed of my voice so that it will be done faster than the usual. Otherwise, you have that option in YouTube that you can increase the speed and just watch the video faster. Because I know that sometimes I talk about other different things, and then I relocate the position of where I'm starting again. Then restarting the chapter becomes a problem sometimes. So I hope so that you will be able to understand it again through the video. So the next morning, as he was at the breakfast, now the night before he slept, and he slept unhappy, like he was unhappy. And next morning, as he was at the breakfast, the servant brought him a card on which was written, Monsieur Gustave, now then, messenger from Baron Hosberg. So messenger from Baron Hosberg, Hosberg's messenger came. What was the name? Monsieur Gentleman Gustave Nauden. Okay. And I suppose he has come for an apology. I suppose that he has come to ask for an apology. That, like Baron Hosberg must have asked that, say sorry for what you have done. You have given me a sovereign. So he thought that, but it was not like that. He told the servant to show the visitor up. And then the old gentleman with gold spectacle and gray hair came into the room. He came here inside the room. And have I the honor of addressing Monsieur Erskine? So he said that, do I have the honor to meet this gentleman? Monsieur here means gentleman Erskine. So can I meet him, or do I have the honor to meet him? Hui bowed. So in respect, he went onto his knees, and I have come from, Baron Hosberg. He continued. The person said, okay. Then the Baron, sorry, just a minute. Then I beg, sir, that you will offer him my sincerest apologies, stammered Hui. So he said that I just want to say sorry to him. So I want to apologize for what I have done wrong. Okay. And have I got okay. Then the Baron said, the old gentleman, uh, with a smile, has commissioned me to bring you this letter, and extended a sealed envelope. So he gave a sealed envelope and letter also. On the outside was written, a wedding present to Hui Erskine and Laura Merton, for from an old beggar, and inside was a check of 10,000 pounds. So that's how he became rich. So when they were married, Alan Trevor was the best man. Best man, I told you what's the best man, who helps his friend to get ready for the marriage and all that. And the Baron made a speech on the wedding breakfast. My God. Okay, so the person who was so rich, he made the wedding sorry, speech on the wedding breakfast, the millionaire models. So here, that's why the title is millionaire models, remarked Allen, are rare enough, but model millionaire are rare, rarer still. So model millionaires are rarer still. Like these people who actually make the other people's life easier, they are very much rare to find. Now I hope so. The chapter is done, and even okay. Now he knew that I'm going to ask the question, so that's why he left. So anyways, I would ask Mehak and Basant. Basant,
Yes, sir.
did you understand the chapter?
Yes, sir.
It was like a movie actually, like how the things were asked and how the things are done when he met his friend, and there was a beggar, and beggar was not a beggar, beggar was the richest person, and then how he returned his favor of that sovereign, that like the kind of sovereign that he gave him, you know. So this was it from my side. I wanted to just let it be done because this chapter was left to be actually explained properly. And let me know that if there is any other chapter or any other concept of grammar in your
Sir,
English
Julius
class.
is
Julius Caesar is a kind of drama, no? So it'll be a lengthy stuff to be done. So that's another thing. That's on the other day. We can do that together. There is no problem with that. But the thing is, it's not possible to be done in one day. Something which is to be done in one day, or something which is to be explained through, what we say, like related to the grammar. Just let me know that, because Julius Caesar, it's a long stuff to be done, and I require little time for that also, because I don't have that text of that. And if you can send me the text, it would be much better. Otherwise, I can find it out myself. And let me know that all that Julius Caesar you're saying, or one of the two acts.
sir. Two scenes.
Two scenes. It would be fine then. Just let me know the two scenes of first act.
Sir, Act 1, Scene 3, Act 2, Scene 1.
Okay, act one, scene three, and act two, scene one. Okay, okay. Then I'll be just working on that only. Then we will be having the class for that too. So just let others students also know that I'm providing that class. So please let your class mates know that. Like if they don't understand, if they understand, that's well and good. They can do it on their own also. There is no nothing to worry about that. So thank you very much for joining in for the class, both of you. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye bye. Bye, Basant.
Bye, sir.
Bye.
Bye, sir.